In the bustling heart of Amsterdam, on a cold January day in 1979, a boy named Yoram was born into a practicing Protestant family. His childhood was filled with Sunday church services, Bible readings, and the teachings of the Reformed Church. He believed in God, in heaven and hell, in angels and revelation, but above all, he believed Jesus was the Son of God. Yet even as a teenager, questions troubled him. The concept of the Trinity puzzled his young mind. If God is eternal and immortal, he thought, how could he die? He asked priests, preachers, and even rabbis, but their answers never satisfied him. Still, he held on to his faith, deciding that perhaps some mysteries were simply beyond human understanding. Years passed, and Yoram went to university to study comparative religion. Fate marked his very first day with a tragedy that shook the world. September 11th, 2001. His suspicion toward Islam deepened. Then, in 2004, the shocking murder of Dutch filmmaker Theo van Gogh by a Muslim man turned suspicion into hostility. Determined to protect his country from what he saw as a dangerous religion, Yoram entered politics. He became a member of parliament for the Freedom Party, a group known for its fierce opposition to Islam. He gave speeches, drafted policies, and warned the nation about the Islamic threat. Eventually, he decided to put his arguments into a book, an anti-Islam book. It was in this moment that Allah's plan began to unfold. As he wrote, his old Christian doubts resurfaced. The Trinity still made no sense to him. Then he came across the Islamic concept of Tawheed, the absolute oneness of God. It was simple, pure, logical. Curious but cautious, he began rereading the Bible and noticed something he had overlooked. In both the Old and New Testament, the message was the same: God is one. Even Jesus, when asked about the greatest commandment, had said, "The Lord our God, the Lord is one." The harmony between Islam's teaching and the words of the prophets disturbed him. Wanting to test Islam further, Yoram reached out to Islamic scholars, including Sheikh Abdul Hakim Murad from Cambridge. Though he told the sheikh he was writing an anti-Islam book, the sheikh still responded, answering his questions with patience and depth, and suggesting books that presented Islam from within. One such book, The Life of Muhammad by Martin Lings, changed everything. For the first time, Yoram saw the Prophet Muhammad not through the lens of hostility, but as a man, a husband, a friend, a leader. One story struck him like lightning, the story of Hind bint Atba. She had paid for the murder of the Prophet's beloved uncle Hamza, and even desecrated his body. Yet when the Prophet entered Mecca victorious years later, he forgave her completely. Yoram sat in silence, realizing if a man can forgive the killer of someone he loves, his character is beyond ordinary. This is not the heart of a liar. His resistance weakened. One by one, his objections to Islam fell away. But with truth came fear. Accepting Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a prophet meant declaring the Shahada. It meant leaving behind his old life. He pushed the books away, determined to stop. As he did, several books fell from the shelf, one opening before him. It was the Qur'an, and his eyes fell directly on the verse, "It's not the eyes that are blind, but the hearts." Surah 22, verse 46. The words pierced him. His problem was not ignorance, but pride. That night he prayed, "God, whether you are the God of the Bible or the Qur'an, guide me, show me the truth." The next morning, his doubts were gone. His heart was at peace. He knew with absolute certainty there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. When news spread, the backlash was fierce. Some of his political allies turned into enemies overnight. Old supporters sent thousands of threats. His mother cried, yet his wife stood by him, and his faith only grew stronger. The man who had once stood in parliament warning against Islam now stood in prayer, bowing his head to the one he had spent years opposing. His first salah felt strange. The physical act of placing his forehead on the ground was unfamiliar. But in that moment, he felt a deep humility he had never experienced before.
Today, Yoram Van Claveren shares his story across the world through the Islamic Experience Center, visiting schools, and using virtual reality to help people see Islam beyond stereotypes. He tells seekers, "Do not judge Islam by the actions of some Muslims. Judge it by the life of the Prophet ﷺ. Read, study, ask, and if you seek sincerely, Allah will guide you." Once a fierce opponent, now a devoted believer, Yoram's journey is a reminder that Allah guides whom He wills, and that sometimes the sharpest enemies of Islam can become its strongest defenders.